Shalom. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam for pushing this truth with sincerity. Alright. So I'm in Ecclesiasticus chapter 5. It says, Set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. So, we're not supposed to follow our own instruction, follow our own understanding. What we think is right, is not always right. So we have to be mindful of that, You lean on the ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai Ba'Shem. Especially a man in this truth, edifying the brothers. You don't want to give your own vain opinion on a breakdown or whatever, and then teach brothers wrong. So verse 3, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For Yahweh will surely revenge thy pride. See, so if you think you have all the breakdowns and you want to, sit here and say something different and oppose to what the apostles, the elders, apostles of Great Millstone teach, then you're out of you're out of line, And Yahweh is going to be the one who's going to revenge your prideful spirit, Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For Yahweh is long-suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say, oh, just you got by with one sin, so now you're just gonna sin some more because you question what happened to me because of my sin. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened to Esau Edom due to his and he's with him. It's not even sin, but you just say wickedness. Because sin is the transgression of the law, all right? And the law was never given unto Esau, Edom. The Edomites were never given the law, all right? They've never followed the laws of the Bible. And so therefore, back to the verse 4 where it says, I have sinned, what harm hath happened unto me? This is dealing with Israelites, all right? Because you can bet that Yahweh is going to recompense and he's going to destroy Esau Edom and his wicked kingdom, which is Babylon America. All right. So just because you may have made a sin and you don't want to keep doing that sin because Yahweh hasn't judged you for that sin. Because he is going to judge everybody according to their works and according to their sins, So, verse 5, concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. All right, and let's look up that word, propitiation. It says, the action of propitiating or appeasing a god, spirit, or person. See, so you don't want to be sitting there trying to appease God. Meanwhile, you're sinning. Meanwhile, you're doing things that are against the law. You don't want to add sin to sin, all right? And and say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. All right, and that word indignation means righteous hatred, all right? So his righteous hatred is going to come down hard on these Edomites and these 2/3 who don't consider his ways, for they don't consider his truth. They don't consider his men, Well, these sinners, that's who his indignation is reserved for, And he's going to, judge everybody according to their wickedness and their righteousness. All right. But you got to know what's righteous. You can't just sit there and say, oh, I'm a good person, so therefore I'm righteous, you know? No, because you have to understand the ways of Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, or Kakadash. You have to understand the laws, the commandments, the statutes, the precepts. Otherwise, you have really no understanding. It goes back to what we first read in verse 2. You know, follow not your own mind, you know? First, you got to find out what's wicked, you know, that way you know whether you are righteous or wicked, you know. And don't get me wrong, we're all sinners, but, you know, there are some that are much better off because of this truth, right? Starting out with our elders of Great Millstone, all right? In verse 7, make no tarrying to turn to Yahweh, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of Yahweh come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. All right, so don't put this work off. Don't put this truth off, man. You know, make sure you do your videos. You know, there's, what is it, only 3 videos required? You know, do the quota minimum, you know. You do anything extra, well, that just shows you're in the spirit, man. You're more in the spirit than other brothers if you're doing more videos, you know. So that goes without saying, you know. But you don't want to tarry and turn from this truth day to day. Like, you can't take your hand off the plow, stop doing the work, and then say, oh, I'll go back in January, you know. That'll be my New Year's resolution. No, you don't tarry from this truth, man. You don't put it off, because it says suddenly the wrath of Yahweh will come forth on you, man. Because does not it say in Peter that he comes like a thief in the night? I believe it's in Peter. Let's see. Oh no, I'm wrong. It's in Thessalonians. All right, so let's go to it. But that's why we study, so we can get well versed in this knowledge, in this truth, in this wisdom, in this understanding. All right. 1 Thessalonians 5:2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh so cometh as a thief in the night. See, he comes as a thief in the night, so you can't be tarrying or putting this work off or putting your studies off, you know. And every now and then, just to be straight up with you, you need these studies, man, to lift your spirit, man, to you know, keep you in the faith. You know, we have to examine ourselves. Let me just keep reading this. Verse 3, 5 and 3, 1 Thessalonians. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. See, and so what happened just this week? Did not, well, let me look it up. I think it was a treaty with no, let's see. I wanted to look more into this a couple days ago when alright, so let's just play a short video. And this phone always acts up. It opens up these things that I don't want being opened up.
Suzanne Steyert. Bosses were investigated for ethics violations. Steyert went on the attack.
So bear with me. But you know, like we were reading, and you know what? I think it is in Peter still where it says the thief, and then I think there's another precept. I'm going to look that up. But let's watch this real quick.
Honored to welcome to the White House Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel and Mrs. Netanyahu. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This was just 2 days or 3 days ago.
And Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed, United Arab Emirates, UAE. Thank you very much. And Foreign Minister Abdulaziz Al-Zani of Bahrain. Thank you.
You know what? Let's just read the very first part of the article because it says pretty much what I'm trying to bring out. It says, declaring the dawn of a new Middle East, President Donald Trump on Tuesday presided over the signing of historic diplomatic pacts between Israel and two Gulf Arab nations that he hopes will lead to a new order in the Mideast and cast him as a peacemaker at the height of his re-election campaign. See, so what we just read, man. We just read, let's go back to it. Verse 3, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that days should overtake you as a thief. All right, so the men of this truth, the elect, the hopeful elect of GMS, this is not coming to us as a thief. That's why we're able to show you these videos of Donald Trump talking peace, and then showing you in the scriptures that when they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction is going to come upon these Edomites. But you know the judgment does start out with the house of God, all right, which is the Israelites, all right. Let me keep reading this, verse 5. Ye are all the children of light and the children of day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. All right. And really, this is only dealing with that 1/3 and the elect. All right. Because we're the children of light, because we're not in darkness. We know that, you know, Jacob's trouble is coming. We know that Esau, Edom, is going to come at our people with great wrath because he have but a short time. All right. He's going to come at, that's why he wants to vaccinate you first, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because this Edomite is going to vaccinate your ass first, man. And he's going to tell you, you know, you should know, but just by that alone. When was the last time the Edomite, the so-called white man, gave anything good that was good first to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? If that thing was so good, then you bet your ass that they would be giving it to their own people first, right? That'd be their privilege, their so-called white privilege. Hey, we're gonna get vaccinated first. All right, isn't that the attitude, right? Like the so-called white man, you know, if this vaccine is so good and so safe, you know, then why wouldn't they give it to these Edomites first? That's a red flag, you know, for somebody with a, you know, critical thinker, you know. If you're not a critical thinker, you're just gonna believe the devil and take his vaccine, man. Let me read that again, verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of, and it should say sons, because the word children is sons in Hebrew. Ye are the sons, ye are all the son of light and the son of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. All right. These other heathen nations, these two-thirds of our own people, you know, and the Edomites, these are all the darkness that covers the earth. All right. Verse 6, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. See? So what we doing? We're, as the nation of Israel, the prophets of Israel, we're watchmen, right? We're the ones who are telling you, hey, don't take the virus, don't take the vaccine, you know. Don't take the vaccine, don't take the microchip. But whether or not you fools listen is a whole nother story, you know. So we're telling you not to do this, you know. Why? Because we've been diligent in our studies. The Holy Spirit is working with us. And it just said in verse 4, I'm going to read it one more time. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. So when you go back up to verse 2, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh cometh as a thief in the night. Well, guess what? It doesn't come as a thief in the night to the elect. All right? We know when we see, you know, when we see the microchip made mandatory, we know that these prophecies are going to speed up, man. We know that Yahweh Shai is going to crack the clouds with those chariots, those so-called UFOs.